Yeah, it worked.
She's there.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay, it's recording, but it's not letting participants in.
Yeah, but Bernard just entered the meeting as well, so I don't think.
There we go. We've just started. Yeah, okay. It's all connected. All right. All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Global Education's Virtual Expo. We've got another webinar for you here. I know we're a little bit late. We've had a few technical difficulties with our server here, so I do apologize for that. But without any holding you back here, we've got an interesting webinar for you tonight or this afternoon in South Africa. My name's George. I'm sitting here in Perth in Australia. I work with the Global Education team in South Africa and Zimbabwe. You would have seen me in a few of the webinars happening so far this September. We've got Nyenrode University, and they're focusing on the business side and the postgraduate side in the Netherlands. It's an interesting university that Nico, the managing director of Global, has wanting to represent for a long time. In this webinar, you're going to have a cross with a few people that are going to be discussing with you. We've got some students that will be sharing their experience as well. I'm just going to, before I make the introductions, just let a few more people into the area, as we've got the lobby area quite full already. So let's just keep that in mind. Wait a couple seconds. All righty. So this evening this afternoon, we've got Gina Van Hills, the program advisor, the full-time MSc in management. We've got Philip Rijba. Hope I pronounced that last time. You have to teach me how to say it. He's the program advisor, full-time MSc in management. We've got Bernard Ferreira, who's from South Africa, who's a student that is studying at Nyenrode as well. And then we've got our close contact, Sunmin, who works with us on a day-to-day basis. She's our recruitment liaison and contact manager there at Nyenrode. So without further ado, I'm going to stop talking. You're in for a good one here tonight. So just have a chance to have a look, and just remember that the questions, put them in the chat box in the Q&A section, and we'll get to them at the end of the webinar as well. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Gina, and Gina, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, George. I will share my screen first, and yes, can you all see my my screen? Okay, perfect. Thank you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the webinar of Nyenrode Business University. My name is Gina, and I will present this webinar today. George already told you who's with me. I have a few pictures of my colleagues here as well. Marieke Wervers, she's our admissions officer, and she will join later in the presentation to tell you everything about the admissions process. What we will be doing today is I will start off with a little quiz to get to know each other and to make sure that this will be an interactive session. Then I have some general information about the program. And after that, my colleague of admissions will tell you everything about the admissions process and the visa process. And then Bernard will tell you about his experience. Of course, there is plenty of time to ask all your questions. Don't hesitate to put them in the chat, and my colleague Philip will touch upon that during the presentation. Can you all maybe say your names in the chat so we can see who's joining us today?
Of course, I'll start off. Well, I am Philip Rijba, introduced by George and my colleague Gina. I will be answering all your questions if necessary, and if you want to hold them to the end of the session, that's also fine for the Q&A.
Yeah, and Philip, are there names in the chat already from the people participating?
I saw Ashley, Jenna, and Panos.
Okay, Thank you. Welcome. We will start off with a little quiz about Holland. So please put your answers in the chat, and then Philip will maybe help you a little. And this way we can get to know each other. So the first thing is, what are traditional Dutch shoes? I will give you some time to think. Philip, is there already an answer?
There's a really good answer.
Okay, tell me.
Somebody knew it directly. Clogs.
Okay, that's correct, guys. Maybe Philip, you can show the shoes you're wearing now. Are you wearing clogs?
I forgot them today, but tomorrow
okay.
is Clogs Day again.
Okay, nice. Thank you. So the first answer is clogs. Then the second question. Name all the 5 founders of Nyenrode. And I can imagine it's quite a difficult question. So maybe Bernard and Philip can help out a little.
Is one of them KLM?
Yeah, that's true. KLM is one of the founding fathers of Nyenrode. You need to think big, and yeah.
Axel Nobel.
Yes, does Axel
Nobel
Nobel ring a bell?
I'm not going to name all of them, but yeah.
No.
They really put you on the spot there, Bernard.
I know them, but I'm just not going to name all of them.
Is there anybody else? Is there anything in the chat?
I don't see anything in the chat. I don't see anything in the chat yet, but I think 2 out of 5 is pretty good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bernard.
Of course, it was Axel Nobel and KLM. Shell, Unilever, and Philips are the founding fathers of Nyenrode. So on to the next questions. What are the most famous Dutch flowers? The beautiful and colorful flowers.
And Jenna is good again
Oh.
with tulips.
Jenna, you rock. Tulips, yes, it is. And this is a picture taken in Keukenhof in the Netherlands. Have you ever been there, Bernard?
Yeah, I went there, I think this year, this summertime, I went, yeah, with Luna.
Nice, nice.
It was very nice, I must
Yeah.
say.
And is it really as it is on the picture?
It is, but Keukenhof was closed this year, obviously because of Corona, but all the other farms allowed you to go there. So it was really, really nice. Yeah, I'd really recommend it. Yeah,
Nice.
really good.
Perfect. Thank you. The fourth questions. How many inhabitants does the Netherlands have?
There's a song about it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. You want to sing?
15 million mensen.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
But the number doesn't, it's not correct anymore.
A new one came out this year with 17, but I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So we got a few more people, but it's close.
No,
Okay,
no.
what is the answer?
Well, the answer is 17 million.
Yeah, we do have, and this is one of my favorite parts because we have twice as much pets. So as you can see, we have like 80 million fishes, 1.5 million dogs, and 2.6 million cats. So if you are an animal lover, then the Netherlands is the right place for you. We go to the fifth and last questions. How many different nationalities live in Amsterdam? Is there an answer yet?
We have 3 answers, and I can say Jenna is right again.
Okay.
Jenna knows a lot about the Netherlands.
That's good to hear, because the right answer is on the screen. Okay, nice. Jenna, good job. Good job. Oh, I have one more question. Sorry. What Dutch words do you know? And maybe Jenna knows a word because she knows a lot about the Netherlands.
I'm really surprised. Mariana has a good one.
Je bent
It's
mute.
ja.
You are on mute.
We have
One.
twice the answer ja.
Yeah. Okay. That's
And we
correct.
have Lotus Biscoff from Mariana. I don't really know what that is. Maybe you care to explain, Mariana? Oh, is misschien beschuit.
Oh, beschuit. Yeah, that's a Dutch word for sure.
It's a really Dutch thing as well.
Yeah, nice. And Bernard, do you know any Dutch words since you're here for how many months now?
No, over a year already. Yeah. No, I understand everything. I just don't like speaking it. I prefer Afrikaans.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, we keep it to English.
Obviously, yeah, I don't know what it depends what you want me to say, but yeah.
Just maybe alles goed.
Ja, alles goed. Doei.
Doei. Doei means bye, and alles goed means how are you? So thank you. This was a quiz. Thank you for participating. I would like to start off with a little video about Nyenrode. So turn on your volume and I will start. Enjoy.
Nyenrode Business Universiteit is in 1946 opgericht voor en door het bedrijfsleven en kenmerkt zich van oudsher door een sterke internationale oriëntatie. Nu, bijna 75 jaar later, zijn we een plek waar werelden samenkomen. We slaan een brug tussen de academische wereld en het bedrijfsleven. Tussen wetenschappelijk onderzoek en de praktijk. En tussen beginnende studenten en ervaren alumni. Wij geloven dat een stevige basis ieder mens tot grote hoogtes kan brengen. Die basis vind je op Nyenrode, in Breukelen en in Amsterdam. We combineren academische theorie, praktische relevantie en persoonlijke ontwikkeling, zodat jij succesvol aan jezelf en aan je carrière kan bouwen. Zo creëer je een duurzame meerwaarde voor jezelf, je organisatie en de maatschappij. Aan de hand van onze 3 kernwaarden, leadership, entrepreneurship en stewardship, ontwikkel je de vaardigheden om in de toekomst als wereldburger en als leider in de maatschappij te staan. Met oog voor jou en de wereld om je heen. We zien in de vorming van studenten, professionals en executives een maatschappelijke taak. Nyenrode is een brug naar jouw toekomst.
So that was a small introduction of Nyenrode. Are there any questions so far? Don't hesitate to drop them in the chat before we will continue with the presentation. Not yet? Okay, then I will start off because you now know how Nyenrode was founded. And I would like to tell you more about where Nyenrode is located. We have 2 locations, one in Breukelen and one in Amsterdam. I'm at Breukelen at the moment, and Bernard studied at Breukelen as well. You can choose whether you like to go to Amsterdam or Breukelen. But there is a difference between both locations, and I will show the difference with a little video. And I will start off with the campus in Amsterdam.
So I have multiple reasons for choosing for Nyenrode Amsterdam. First of all, I just love that it is in the center of the city. It's so easy to go.
I chose to study at Nyenrode instead of other universities because I was really impressed by the atmosphere that Nyenrode had. I feel that Nyenrode empowers me and makes me feel trusted to make certain decisions.
There's so many startups, interesting businesses, and they are all just around the corner. So I think that makes the campus location in Amsterdam super special.
Specifically to the campus, I really enjoy the Biz Lounge because it's the main part where you have all the functions, so you make a lot of memories there.
I just really like the way that Nyenrode treats its students. And then another thing that makes Nyenrode really special is that it is so much based on the reality of the businesses. You don't just have to study from a book, it's really practical. So you have guest lectures from people who really have important functions in businesses.
Lecturers really try to engage students, and usually there's a lot of back and forth in lectures, very interactive, which really helps with the learning process. In Nyenrode Amsterdam, we have the incubator. Who want to start up a company can approach for aid and get an office space in the Amsterdam building. The ECV is our student association in Amsterdam, and we organize all sorts of events, ranging from formal business events to parties. Being on the board of the ECV, I've learned a lot of management skills that I otherwise would not have learned.
Yeah, I think the main focus of Nyenrode is really to be better as a person. That also includes in the core sports. And I think it really teaches you to be proactive and to work on yourself.
The atmosphere in Nyenrode is one that is very open and it's safe to make mistakes. You are able to learn from your experiences and move forward from there.
Sorry. So in conclusion, our location in Amsterdam is in the heart of the city center of the Netherlands. You will get a real city experience because the location is located between a lot of companies. We have a student association which is called the JCV, and they organize a lot of network events and other sessions together with alumni and former students. But we also have our location in Breukelen, and it's slightly different, and it's explained by Bernard because he is doing this video. Sorry, and I will show you. Bernard will show you the Breukelen campus.
My name is Bernard Ferreira from South Africa. I'm 25 years old, MSc 29. I just want to show you guys currently from the Nyenrode Castle here in Breukelen, which is obviously part of the big image of Nyenrode, and it's super cool for international students and everyone around. But there's not all Nyenrode campus has to offer, so come with me and let me show you campus life. As you can see now, we're here by the Kutshuis, which is part of the NCV, which is a newer company from Farah, which is the student association of Nyenrode. So at the bottom we have many student events like jazz night, transfer dinner, etc., and all of the rest which you'll still learn about. And on the first floor we've got our Zolder bar, which is one of two bars that we have on campus, and I'm currently now on the Middenpad, which you will find yourself walking along, not only for academic but also for social side. And right next to the Kutshuis we also have one of our two study centers on campus. So now we're here by the small nature reserve on Nyenrode campus, which is super cool for students who just feel like getting a break during their studies or going for a walk during the day. Especially for international students, you don't really see this often, and we're really privileged to have this, and yeah, it's a nice getaway just for the day. Now we're on the Nyenrode estate still, where we are walking next to the nature reserve, where we have hatches and a few nandus, which is super cool for the international students. Next to that we've also got a rugby field, indoor sports hall, and a gym, which is super cool. Next to that we've got our Mensa, which is the lunch and dinner facilities, where we have the NCV hosts the main table events, which is dinner and debates, which is really nice for students to get together in the evenings, and that is held on Mondays. And so after that, let me take you to the library and the Albert Heijn building. So we're on the Middenpad now, And to the right, you can see the Plesman Hotel, which is one of 2 hotels on campus, where if you're an international, your parents are more than welcome to come stay here. And we have many externals and executive MBA programs that take place during the week, and most people make use of these facilities. We are currently at the Albert Heijn building, where you can mostly find reception, and most of your lectures will take place here, as well as program management can be found here, and your lecturers in case you need to contact them. And directly across the Albert Heijn building, you get the library, where mostly after lectures you will come discuss things with your group, where you can find silent rooms to do your own study, or cubicles to also do your own study if you really want to focus for exams. Now we're at the beginning of the Middenpad, so whatever lies behind me is what I just told you, from the library, the Mensa, to the castle, to the nature reserve, and beyond this is where our daily lives take place, where the student lives, and where we all interact with one another. And let me show you around. We've come to the end of our Nyenrode campus tour that I gave you. Sorry that I couldn't give you the full campus tour, but hopefully when Corona's done and you guys have the opportunity to come to campus, you'll have a full experience of what it's really about, and I guarantee it'll not disappoint you. So thank you for watching, and yeah, good luck.
So that was the location in Breukelen, shown by Bernard. Thank you. As you may have seen, it's a whole different vibe than in the Netherlands. It's a real on-campus experience. In Breukelen, you live, study, and socialize. So you actually do everything on campus. And you are living on a real estate. Touching upon that, Bernard, can you tell a little about your time on campus?
Well, it's been quite a long time. I'm coming towards the end of it. Well, I must say, since I arrived, it's been like a real roller coaster, but you learn a lot of things in terms of time management and when it comes to social and academic side. And I think Nyenrode has been probably one of the best places for me to have learned that, because previously I studied at the University of Stellenbosch, but you don't have all these committees, and because we've got 50 committees on campus, which is really good. It gives you the opportunity to go into whichever direction you would like to, whether it be photography, digital, art. Yeah, I'm in 6 committees, which is quite a lot for me. Like, I really struggle to time manage myself, but that's where you learn a lot, and that's where you learn to meet people, build connections with people on campus, and get to integrate with the whole Dutch culture and the Dutch students and stuff. And that's really where I've benefited most. And at the end of the day, it's also up to you just to push yourself and to see how far you can, that'll actually just see how far you can come in life at the end of the day. It depends how much you push yourself. And that's what I really did. I took the most out of it and I got the most back. So that's the one lesson I can give you. But I must say, it's one of the most beautiful campuses I've been to or have seen or have lived on. And yeah, if you can ask me questions, I'll be glad to answer them. I don't know what else to say, but yeah, the academics is really good. I've really enjoyed it. It challenges you in some ways. And the social life is also really good. Yeah.
So you're part of a real community, right? When living on campus. Yeah. And you can develop yourself professionally, but also personal in your personal life by going into those committees you were talking about.
Yeah, it's much more than just a study. You learn a lot of like everyday skills, and I've got a question.
Okay, thank you. If you have any questions, just tell them in the app, in the chat. I'm sorry. You have seen.
We have one question.
We have one question. Sorry.
Mariana asked how easy is it to make friends on campus? It's quite easy. It's not that hard. So I'm in one of the committees, is Nyenrode United Committee, which is for all the internationals. I'm Commissioner Integration, of course, trying to integrate everyone, but it's not that hard. I mean, we're very welcoming. The people welcome you quite with open arms. Obviously, for Corona, when I arrived, it was a lot different. Everything was kind of shut down, but that was up to me. So I just put myself out there and I made friends. but now it's a lot easier without the corona stuff. Not that
Yeah.
there's no measurements, but there's a committee which welcomes you. There's a lot of international events, and it's really not that hard. I mean, most people, internationals that come, don't struggle at all. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I have an infographic here for why study in the Netherlands, and Nyenrode has put some facts into figures, and yeah, one of the most important facts in our opinion is that the Netherlands is on the 4th of the list of best countries for businesses, and on the 22nd place for the safest country in the world. And I don't know if you have any questions about studying in the Netherlands. Is there a question in the app? In the chat? I'm sorry. No? Okay. Then we'll go on with that. Yeah. I would like to focus a little more on the academic part. Nyenrode has an academic program which takes 16 months, starting with a pre-master of 4 months. And after ending that successfully, you will automatically enroll into the master phase, where you will start with 5 core courses and then choose a track. During the whole program, there's a mission of Nyenrode, and it says serving society by shaping responsible leaders. So after the 16-month-long program, you know how to be a responsible leader. Together with the core values, which will come up in the program every day. I think Bernard can touch upon that. How does the core values of Nyenrode, how do you see that back in the program?
Like I said, well, for out of these core values, we in the master, you do a questionnaire, and then wherever you come out strongest, you have to follow a track. For example, I came out strongest in the entrepreneurship track. And for example, where the program's really nice is then you get entrepreneurs that come and they basically guide you through a whole course where you get into groups and you have to form a startup, and they really help you step by step and guide you on how to get a startup. And you have to, every time you got, for example, we have teams meetings with them, and they give us feedback on our startup of the company, which is really, really nice. Leadership, I wasn't in that course, but I know there's a lot of positive feedback. You learn a lot of good things. And stewardship also, but all of these 3 core values, you definitely will get back from your study. For example, I mean, when you come to Amsterdam now as a student, Nyenrodeans are literally all around in Amsterdam. I walk in the street and you see a familiar face, and all these people that you meet have got really good jobs at the end of the day. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things you learn and you come out a lot stronger. Oh, sorry, someone's here.
No problem. No problem. So thank you, Bernard. Are there any questions regarding the core values or the mission of Nyenrode? Okay. Yeah, like I told you, you can choose one of the tracks, and as Bernard already touched upon, that will you can choose one of the tracks of your preferences. And the first track is digital business and innovation. The second one is financial management, and the last one is global business. And Bernard, I believe you are doing global business now, right?
Yeah, I do the global track. Yeah.
Okay, and you, can you tell something about how you like it, or what are you doing now at the moment?
So at the moment, well, I just finished a retake, passed it, thank goodness.
Okay.
No, it is really good. Obviously, the first couple of subjects everyone does together, then eventually you split up into your tracks that you get put, or that you choose at the end of the day. Finance and digital and global, whichever you prefer. I chose global because I prefer more of a global business base and more of interacting, like, if I can call, like, more interacting with people, business type of platform, where finance is more finance related, digital is more obviously digital related, quite like straightforward. But I really enjoyed it. You get a really good overview of the whole global business background. For example, I did new economic powers. What is the other one? Was global strategy. And these two subjects really focus on those two type of things, and they really go into depth about it. And obviously you got an exam and a paper for both. So yeah, you get the most out of it. And also the global immersion program you're also doing in your, whichever one you do, your global finance or digital. We're going to Milan in Italy in next month and where you go visit like companies, and they give you a lot of insights, whichever track you go to, which is really good. So they really give you the most back, and they try to involve you as much as possible, whichever track you're doing. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Bernard. Yeah, I was going to touch upon the Global Immersion Week, but that's no problem because yeah, it's a first-hand information, so we will skip this one. One thing I would really like to touch upon is our personal leadership and development journey, because during the program, yeah, you will be following a lot of lecturers and doing a lot of things to develop yourself, both professional as personal. And now I believe that the students are working in groups of 4, 3 students and 1 alumni who will help out. The alumni will help out preparing the students how to do an interview and how to pimp your LinkedIn profile, for example. So that's how you really get helped by doing those things. Bernard, can you add something to that maybe?
Yeah, so actually quite the guy that I got put into for peer group coaching eventually ended up being in the same fraternity as me, which is quite nice. I got in the same dispute as him eventually, but yeah, so eventually you go through all these like personal development and personal leadership skills, where they like growth mechanisms basically to grow you as an individual, which is really nice. And then at the end of the day, we have to write basically a self-reflection paper, and when you write this, you actually realize, whoa, like what's happened at your time at Nyenrode and how you've grown as a person. And it's got a personal side to it with also non-personal side. So you combine them both, and then you learn a lot from yourself and what you've gone through over the past, even though it's such a short period, but a lot has happened in the past 16 months. Yeah. And the peer group coaching really helps you for after Nyenrode, because the alumni system, and they basically try to prep you for like, are you doing internships? What is your direction in life? And that's what really helps with the peer group coaching. They plan your career. They help guide you for career planning, which is good.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. And that's what, as you can see, after graduation, there's 87% of the students finds a job after 3 months of graduation. And this is, the reason Bernard just touched upon, because you know what you want to do and how you want to do it. This number is that high. And most of the students end up in consulting, finance, general management, and marketing. And Bernard, do you already know what you want to do after graduation? You have an idea?
I do. I was going to do an internship before, but I'd like to go to the company that they actually alumni of Nyenrode. Frank van Wezel. He was also in the video, the introductory video.
Yeah.
He's also been part of Nyenrode. He was there in 1958, and we become good friends. And I'd like to work for him for a couple of years, and then maybe do something with because we export a lot of fruit to Europe, Middle East, Far East, and maybe vertically integrate something with our own company in the Netherlands. But for now, probably first work in their company's actually in Breukelen, actually. So yeah, probably work for them, live in Amsterdam. That's the plan. Yeah.
That's good. Sounds good. So now, yeah, we have told you everything about Nyenrode, about the program and about the opportunities after graduating. But before that, yeah, we have our admissions process, and my colleague Marieke will guide you through the process. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to put them in the chat. Let me introduce you, Marieke.
Hi. Thank you, Gina, for this introduction. As Gina already mentioned, I'm Marieke Wervers. I'm a program coordinator for the full-time MSc, and I'm also the admissions officer. So that means if you got really enthusiastic after this presentation, or also if you want some more information, you might talk some extra to Philip or Gina. And then if you decide to sign up, that's when I will be in contact with you. So I would like to explain a little bit about our admissions process so that you know what you can expect if you decide to sign up. First, of course, if you decide to sign up, you have to fill in the form on our website. It's through our admissions portal. It's online. It's called Osiris. During your admission, you also have to upload a CV, a cover letter. We also like to receive a copy of your diplomas to make sure that your previous education is sufficient to enroll in the MSc in Management. And lastly, we ask our students to do an English proficiency test to make sure that that the level of English is that your level of English is sufficient to follow our program. This is, of course, very important before you you make this investment. So after you've done this, I will review all the files uploaded. I will take a look at your answers as well. And then I will invite you to our selection day. Our selection day exists of two different parts. There's first the LTP test. This is our admission test. You might have heard from GMAT. That's also sometimes used by universities. We as Nyenrode, we use LTP. So it's an admissions test that consists of 3 different elements. And then depending on your score, you will be invited to the interview or not. But let's assume that you all get invited to the interview. The interview will take place with one of our program managers, and they will decide whether or not you will be accepted to the program. After your interview, and let's say you got accepted, I will send you an acceptance letter and a registration form. And you will, of course, in between this process, you will receive more information also about the pre-master, if you have to follow the entire program, or if you qualify for exemptions, and also for the summer course. The summer course is organized as an introduction to the pre-master program, and it's you get it's organized free of charge, and it's in preparation for the pre-master. So it's about English and finance courses, and it takes about 2 weeks. But again, this is all bit of more in the future, and I can explain all about it. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me also before you actually apply to the program. That's not a problem. And then in the acceptance letter and the registration form, it's also important that we know which location you would like to follow our program. As Gina already mentioned, there's 2 locations, Breukelen and Amsterdam. And depending on your preference, we will send you the right registration form. Lastly, something that's not on the slide, but I would like to mention for all international students, it's of course also important that you get the right visa. If you have any questions about this, we will help you with this process as well. So we will be in contact with the IND office to make sure that you will receive the right visa on time, and that you are able to travel to the Netherlands before the start of the program, and you can pick up your resident permit. So this is all you're all being helped with this process. And then lastly, finally, I would like to say something about scholarships. As you know, Nyenrode is a private university. This means that our tuition fee is a bit higher than other universities in the Netherlands. But on the other hand, it is possible for Nyenrode to receive a scholarship. You can apply for 4 different types of scholarships. They're all on the screen, but the application process for the scholarships is the same. So basically, if you qualify for a scholarship and you receive a scholarship, it means that you get half of the tuition fee for the master program as a gift from Nyenrode. So if you decide to sign up for Nyenrode for the MSc in management, I definitely recommend to have a look at our website and to see if you have a chance on the scholarships. On a scholarship, and to make sure that you apply for a scholarship. I can imagine that there might be some questions about both the admission process and the scholarship. Having a look at Philip to see if he received any questions already.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Well, if you, I can imagine it's a lot of information that you receive at this moment from both the program and the location, but also the admission process. So if you have any questions afterwards, please don't hesitate to contact us. We'd be happy to help you answer all of them. Okay.
Marieke, I've got a couple of questions that have just come through from our counselors at Global Education. In terms of postgraduate students from Zimbabwe, is there a difference in terms of the qualification from South Africa in terms of the requirements? And can we have a little bit more idea on the types of requirements? Like if you do a 3-year in South Africa, does that qualify you straight away to do masters? Or is it like the UK where you need to do a pre-masters foundation course?
That's a very good question. For almost all our also Dutch students, but also international students, they have to do the pre-masters, unless you have done a master on or bachelor on university level, which is completely about business administration. But for international students, if this might be the case, we review each case individually. We have a look at the courses from the previous education, and then our admissions committee, they have a look and to see if you get exempt for either our pre-master program or some of the courses, because that also happens every now and then. For example, if you have done a bachelor on university level, it might happen that you get an exemption for our course, academic reading and writing. But yeah, as I mentioned, we have a look at these individual cases to make sure that there's enough overlap to exempt you from one of our courses. Yeah. Does this answer your question? Great. And I think you mentioned you had a couple of questions. Are there any more?
I've got a couple more, but I'll leave them for the end of the presentation. I've got them for Bernard as well in terms of what he went through in terms of applying and things like that.
Okay.
But we'll have lots more conversations with yourself as well going forth. So thank you very much.
Sure, no problem. You're welcome. All right, I will give the word to Gina again. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Marieke. Yeah, I think it's time for the questions, George. You can ask them to Marieke, she's still here, to Bernard, or yeah, to me. So
brilliant.
Let's start.
First off, I wanted to say thank you. I enjoyed that presentation. It was really engaging. A lot of the counselors that are on this webinar as well, they liked the setup and the way you presented it as well. So I just wanted to mention that before we finish. In terms of the questions, Bernard, I got a couple for you in the beginning. How did you find out about, and I need to learn how to pronounce, how do you pronounce it? Nyenrode? Nyenrode. Cool. Yeah. I love it. It's a brilliant name. How did you find it, and like what made you search, and how did you come up with studying there?
It's quite a funny story actually. I was busy studying my honors at University of Stellenbosch, and I wanted to go get food from my aunt, and I was really hungover that day. And actually the alumni people that I told you about, Frank and Caroline van Wezel, she worked at the alumni office, and he was actually a student at Nyenrode in 1958, and she approached me and asked me what I want to do with my life after my 5 years at Stellenbosch. And I said to her, honestly, I just want to just develop myself, see where I go in life, and see how far I can get in life. And I mean, if you have the opportunity to study abroad, why not? Then she's like, oh, okay, well, take my number and contact me. But there's a really good university that I think will be great for your personal development and for your, not for your CV, but also obviously for your CV and your academic career, is Nyenrode. And yeah, so that's literally how I heard about it. And I obviously looked at Erasmus, looked at some universities in America. And then at the end of the day, I was just like, if she speaks so well of it, let me go for it. And that's how I ended up picking for Nyenrode, yeah.
And in terms of like the classes and the culture of studying there, compared to Stellenbosch and South Africa in general, how did you find that? Did you find it was quite easy to sink into, and just the way of taking notes and things like that? Was it easy to sort of migrate from studying in South Africa to the Dutch way of thinking?
Yeah, well, I came from no Corona to Corona class. So yeah, at Stellenbosch, I never had that. But now when it's getting back to normal, it's basically the education level is high. It's really good. Yeah, like I must say, it's smaller classes, which is also nice. It's not 200 people in a lecture room like at once, so it's more focused as well. Yeah, but it's not I would say a big difference from University Stellenbosch. I mean, we also have like an honors class. We had also a focus group where people are focusing just on agricultural economics or logistics, supply chain, and that's what it feels like more like. And it's, yeah, I would say it's similar towards my honors year. So yeah, it's focused. It's, yeah, good level of education. Yeah.
You mentioned during the presentation fraternity. What did you mean by that? Are there like fraternities at the university?
Yeah, there is. But that was started in the 1970s, basically. So it's nice because you get a real good vertical integration with older people. Like I'm going for dinner tomorrow night with a guy, tonight, of a guy that's 53, for example. And he's like, that's all part of your connection system that you build up at the end of the day. So it's really nice. Yeah, we got quite a few fraternities on campus for girls and guys. Yeah, for male, female. So yeah.
That's fantastic. I had no idea about that. I'm a big proponent of the American style of science, where I did my first year of college in the US and then made my way to Australia. So it's interesting to see that. Gina, is that part of Nyenrode in itself, or is that predominantly with the Dutch universities in the Netherlands?
No, it's really Nyenrode itself. What Bernard mentioned, you're really part of a community. And in Breukelen, you have the really on-campus experience, so you live together as well. And in Amsterdam, it's slightly different because you don't live on campus, but you do have the JCV, which makes sure that there are a lot of network sessions organized, and so yeah, you do have this at Nyenrode especially, yeah. And we do have our alumni office, which Bernard also mentioned, and it's a whole department here, and we have a lot of alumni events, and we have alumni over 100 countries all over the world. So yeah, once you are a Nyenrodian, you will always be one, and you will see them all over the world.
Yeah, brilliant. I got a couple more questions here from me personally. Bernard, probably Gina and you can probably both answer this. A lot of the questions that Global gets from students in the way that we counsel and help find the right place for a student to go and study and this has probably been increasing since COVID started, is the types of support structures that students get. When I was listening into the presentation, you listed a whole bunch of support services there. Is that, is it like the typical university where you've got the department, there's the support office, you can walk in, get support and then leave? Or is it really personal? And if you could just share a little bit of a personal experience on what that support really is like. And is there also a mental wellness sort of program? I know a lot of kids now are looking at that when they're choosing their universities. If you could just go a bit into that.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we have program management. That's the department at Nyenrode who are always available for questions, and we have a coach who can always help you. And I think, yeah, Bernard, you can only agree with me that you will really get the personal attention that you need. Maybe you have an example from your own experience.
Yeah, like
Nyenrode?
just a small example. Like for me, the support system is going to be mainly your friends on campus. Like for example, I haven't been home for a very long time now.
Mhm.
Yeah, and for example, for my birthday, like you've just experienced this, like wow, like you don't expect how much effort they put into. Like they all had like this whole surprise birthday thing for me, that, and it's like wow, like these people really put in effort into you, like. So like I got there and they planned all these events, like they got like people like African drummers like to like just to remind me of back home and all these type of things. So there's a lot of effort that gets put into you also, which is really nice. Like even though I couldn't go home for a while, I didn't really want to go home, but obviously I miss home. But then they do these type of things for you. So there's a lot of support structures around you that'll always be there for you. And yeah, it just also depends who you speak to and how much you put in is what you get out. That's for me the most important thing.
I love to hear that. I think that's so important, and it's something that we always push with our students is really get involved with the support and the people that you study with. You know, it's the lifelong friends that you make, it's who you do business with. You mentioned, I believe it's a family business, fresh fruit export, and that you've been exposed to the logistics in and around the university and for example, Rotterdam as well. You know, knowing Netherlands being very logistics minded, is that something that interests you?
It has always interested me. Like I've always, well, in terms of personal things, I've spoken to my dad of opening a repackaging facility for fruit near Rotterdam or something like that. And then maybe going into the supermarkets to source our own fruit into more the Netherlands, because we do to most supermarkets in like Carrefour and Lidl, Sainsbury's, Aldi and all those, but a little bit to Albert Heijn, but a little bit more would like to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously it interests me, and yeah, so that interests me, and that's why I'm also here, is also to, yeah, just obviously South Africa will always stay there, but just maybe vertically integrate in a different way the company, just to see, because I never know what can happen in 40 years time, 50 years time in South Africa. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah, and you're exposed to a new country, and you know, the founder of the business, Lisa Manusis, who started Global Education, you know, she wanted to move her family overseas to get her kids another opportunity to learn and to maybe come back into their country and help their country, or to live a new experience. It really is the international dream. So good on you for doing that, and good luck. And I'm looking forward to seeing your career progress. Gina, in terms of the university offerings, what else is offered, and is it just strictly business that's the main focus here? Are there other courses that you can do? If you go a little bit more into that.
You mean the program? Because
yes, the program.
Yeah, this is the business program. But yeah, you can choose the track. So that's the side that you can choose where to deepen your knowledge about. So, but yeah, it's mainly focused on business.
Yeah, and really laser focused on business. Can you, like, for example, pick up courses in other industries, or are you mainly going into business purely? So all the courses are business focused.
Yeah, especially during the pre-master, because it's really to prepare you for the masters. And then we have the 5 core courses, and then in the tracks you can choose. You can choose some electives, and you can choose a track. So you can make that a little more personal. But the first part of the program is fixed, so to say.
Brilliant. Now, I didn't want to put you on the spot there. I wanted to sort of get an idea of exactly what, what's being offered here as well. And it's great to see such a laser focus in business for somebody who's in the profession. You know, you think about the careers in the future, where the world is going. you know, you need these skill sets, you know, as much as we're going to a more AI driven, you know, environment.
Definitely. Yeah, and you
The creative side.
have your hard skills, which you will learn from the books, but you also have your soft skills, which you will be learning on campus and on the university. So I think the combination which you can put into practice is an ideal combination which Nyenrode offers.
Brilliant. I've just got a message that there has been a bit of a load shedding or power cut in Gauteng in Johannesburg. So Bernard, a little bit of home for you.
So glad I'm not there. Wow.
To everybody listening in on this, we will share the recording as well with all of you. So please don't stress and don't worry. I will be sharing some links and emails with all the contact details here in from this webinar as well. So I'll leave it off to all of you to close out this webinar. If you've got any last thoughts for the students. One more question from me, and anybody can answer this. What's one recommendation for students when they arrive on campus? Where should they go first? Don't say the bar, Bernard, otherwise your mom and dad.
My hair is actually cut because of the bar commission. Actually, that's why I don't have hair. So,
That's a good one. That's a good one.
At Nyenrode or in general?
In
the
general.
Netherlands?
In general.
Well, you can always see the tulips where we discussed in the beginning.
Yeah, the Keukenhof.
That's actually, what would you do?
I should say you would go buy yourself some clogs.
or go cycling in Utrecht.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
Take the train.
Take the train or the bus. And then,
take the train to Utrecht and go to the city center. Yeah.
Yeah, with your clogs on, for
Definitely
example.
not with clogs on.
Are there questions for us, maybe, within the chat?
Well, I think we've just got Jenna and Pano who left on the webinar here. So I'm going to stop the recording now. I'm happy to end it here as well. I thought it was a really good conversation. What I'll do is I'll